Okay, so now we're going to read um, 25 and 26. I tell you, this Genesis is a long book. There's a lot going on. Remember, the first 3 books of the Bible are called the law, the 3 books of the law. All right, Abraham again took a wife, and her name was Keturah. So this is after Sarah passed, right? And she bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan begot Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Ashurim, Letushim, and Leumim. And the sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldaha. All these were the children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. But Abraham gave gifts to the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, and while he was still living, he sent them eastward, away from Isaac his son, to the country of the east. This is the sum of the years of Abraham's life which he lived, 175 years. Then Abraham breathed his last, and died in a good old age, an old man, full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar and Hittite, which is the cave that Sarah was built in, right? Buried in. The field which Abraham purchased for the sons of Heth, from the sons of Heth. There Abraham was buried, and Sarah his wife. And it came to pass, after the death of Abraham, that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt at Beer-lahai Roi. Now this is the genealogy of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar, the Egyptian, Sarah's maidservant, bore to Abraham. And these were the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names, according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, then Kedar, and then Adbeel, and then Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadar, Tema, Jebtur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These were the sons of Ishmael, and these were their names, by their towns and their settlements, 12 princes according to their nations. So there were 12 princes. Let's see. The firstborn of Ishmael. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? Those were the 12 sons of Ishmael, right? And that was, and Ishmael was the son that was born by Hagar, right? And they were the 12 princes, according to their nations. 12 nations, 12 princes. These were the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people. They dwelt from Havilah as far as Shur, which is east of Egypt, as you go towards Assyria. He died in the presence of all of his brethren. This is the genealogy of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah as his wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Paddan, and Aram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. Now Isaac pleaded with the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord granted his plea, and Rebekah his wife conceived. But the children struggled together within her, and she said, "If all is well, why am I like this?" So she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb. 2 people shall be separated from your body. One shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. So when her days were fulfilled for her birth to give birth, indeed there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red. He was like a hairy garment all over, so they called his name Esau. Afterward his brother came out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, so that his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. So the boys grew, and Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a mild man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Now Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was weary. And Esau said to Jacob, "Please feed me with that same red stew, for I am weary." Therefore his name was called Edom. But Jacob said, "Sell me your birthrights as of this day." And Esau said, "Look, I'm about to die, so what is this birthright to me?" Then Jacob said, "Swear to me as of this day." So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and stew of lentils. Then he ate and drank, arose, and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. There was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Abimelech, king. The first famine was in the days of Abraham. And now there's another one. And Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. Then the Lord appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land of which I shall tell you. Dwell in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. For to you and your descendants I give all these lands, and I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham your father. And I will make your descendants multiply as the stars of heaven. I will give to you descendants all these lands, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked about his wife, and he said, "She is my sister," for he was afraid to say, "She is my wife." The same thing his dad did, because he thought, "Lest the men of the place kill me for Rebekah, because she was beautiful to behold." Now it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked through a window and saw, and there was Isaac showing endearment to Rebekah, his wife. Then Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Quite obviously she is your wife, so why could you say, 'She is my sister'?" Isaac said, "Because I said, lest I die on account of her." And Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us? One of the people might soon have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us." So Abimelech charged all his people, saying, "He who touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." Then Isaac sowed in that land and reaped in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. So as a reminder, I don't know why I'm looking so crazy today. Anyways, as a reminder, those who God has appointed to be righteous, and that they have followed his laws, are not perfect, right? They make their mistakes also. Obviously, he wasn't trusting God, just like his dad did not. He was afraid they were going to kill him because his wife was so beautiful and take his wife away from him, which they weren't going to do because God had already promised him that he would multiply him, right? Okay. The man began to prosper and continued prospering until he became very prosperous, for he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and great numbers of servants. So the Philistines envied him. Now the Philistines had stopped up all their wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, and they filled them with the earth. And Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us, for you are much mightier than we." Then Isaac departed from there and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again the wells of water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. He called them by the names which his father had called them. Also Isaac's servants dug in the valley and found a well of running water there. But the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." So he called the name of the well Esek, because they quarreled with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarreled over that one also. So he called its name Sitnah. And he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehoboth, because he said, "For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." Then he went up from there to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared to him the same night and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your descendants for my servant Abraham's sake." So he built an altar there and called on the name of the Lord, and he pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants dug a well. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Ahuzah, one of his friends, and Phicol, the commander of his army. And Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to see me, since you hate me and have sent me away from you?" But they said, "We have certainly seen the Lord is with you." So we said, "Let there now be an oath between you and us, and let us make a covenant with you, that you will do us no harm, since we have not touched you, and since we have done nothing to you but good and have sent you away in peace. You are now blessed of the Lord." So he made them a feast. They ate and drank. They arose early in the morning and swore an oath with one another, and Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. It came to pass that same day that Isaac's servants came and told him about the well which they had dug, and said to him, "We have found water." So he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took as wives Judith, the daughter of and the Hittite, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite. And they were a grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah. Okay, so Esau took 2 wives when he was 40. We're just seeing like how all these nations were formed a very long time ago, and how people could see when someone was blessed by God and they feared God, right? At this time, there's no Jesus, right? It's just God, and he does come to the people, and he shows the people understand that there is a God, and they do not want to go against God, and they know when they face adversement that God is angry with them, right? We'll read that throughout the Bible. But that is the same in today's world. If we go against God, then we are in trouble. And our families suffer for it. And the people around us suffer for it. So we have to remember to try to follow those commandments and try to follow the law, and to do what he instructs us to do, and listen when he speaks to your spirit. People don't believe that God is everywhere, but he is. He is literally in every person's heart. Jesus is in every person's heart, in their spirit. And if you practice talking to him daily, you will start to hear him. But just yesterday, I was driving to work, and I always park in the parking lot. And it's just a very simple thing, but God said, or maybe my angel said, but I mean, I feel like it was God, but it said, don't park in the parking lot, park on the side of the road. And I was like, I always find a parking spot. God always has a parking spot for me. I don't know. So I was like, no, no, no. But it's a very short road, maybe, half a kilometer. But the closer I got to the school, I just heard him again, don't park in the parking lot. So I was like, if there's one more spot available on the road, I'm going to park in it. And there was, and I parked there, right there close to the school. There was one last spot right at the corner before you pulled into the parking lot. And I parked there. And I was like, well, whatever. And I did notice that there were empty places in the parking lot. So I was like, that's strange, but whatever, And I go into school to go to work. And later, one of the ladies said, hey, you got to move your car out of the parking lot because we have to close up the gate tonight. And I was like, thanks, God. Because not that I would have minded moving my car, but I don't know if there would have been a spot available that was close by at that time, because normally it's packed. It's right by a hospital. And I didn't even have to be bothered with it. And even little things like that, just to make your day, He will do for you. Just tiny stuff like that if you recognize it and you're grateful. Now, if you're going to complain and be unhappy and everything's no good and you don't see any of the good stuff God does, He's not going to respond to that, right? You have to see that everything that's good comes from God and be grateful even for the tiniest little stuff. Because every day's a blessing, of course, for me and my family. We have food, we have heat, we have clean water, we can shower daily, we can wash our clothes, we have a nice neighborhood. Everything is a blessing for us every single day. And when things go wrong, we just have to accept that this world is not perfect. This world is very damaged from sin. So what do we have to do? We have to try to be righteous, because why? Righteousness washes away a multitude of sin. Okay? Have a great day.